Hello guys, welcome back to my channel for yet another speed build video. So I think I was going through my comments just recently and somebody was like, hey Jen, why don't you go ahead and do another speed build? Then in my previous speed build or just building video in general, Amy Louise suggested a cozy kind of Christmassy winter cabin and also suggested that I use the snow mod in building it just to kind of give it that all around Christmassy feel. And I must agree with the snow mod and this cabin. Honestly, if you told me The Sims 4 did not have seasons, I honestly wouldn't believe you. I would think you were lying through your teeth, or in my case, my gap. So with Snowflake Cabin, it is essentially a Christmassy themed family cabin. I mean, you could definitely have like a romantic getaway here, maybe invite over some friends or what have you. It doesn't necessarily have to be family oriented, but I'm telling you, there's plenty to do. We have a hot tub in the end. We also have a gaming table. The kitchen and the living quarters are pretty close together. They're actually in the same room, but I love the way that this turns out. With a cabin, I do feel like they're kind of messy, and it's usually a place that you only go to like a couple times a year. And I don't know, I just feel like they're very rustic, and I don't know, sometimes they just don't make sense when you walk in them. You see like all this random clutter and stuff. So even though I don't personally like clutter, I've tried to like it, I just don't. I did add a little bit of that uniqueness here and there. So the actual inside infrastructure of this building is quite unique in many ways. The bathrooms are slender and long. There is 2 rooms actually, so you can easily bring, like I said, some kids, or you can just make it solo dolo. I'm not judging. There's 2 bathrooms, so again, although this is a very long and narrow space, there is plenty of room to kind of go about your business and do your own thing, where you're not going to necessarily feel like you're stepping on each other's toes, which is great. I don't know if I mentioned this already because I've tried to record this a couple times to voiceover, and I'm just not feeling it today. Don't know what my problem is, but it is Christmas themed, and of course, like if you don't celebrate Christmas or whatever the situation is, you can just wipe it all out and call it a day. But I really wanted to kind of incorporate some of that new stuff that we got with the update and put it into this build here. And just by the garnet, are they called garnish? They're called, what is it? It starts with a garland? Garland? Yes, with the snowflake garland. It's kind of where I pulled the inspiration for the name, Snowflake Cabin. It's not that super duper authentic, but hey, I liked the name, it fit the place, so we went with it. My favorite thing so far, of what I've shown you on the screen, is definitely the decks. I like the way that they look, and the awnings. They're covered, so when the snow comes trickling through, you're not going to get wet, but you can still enjoy that space. I do actually end up putting like a building table on the back porch, and then also a grill. So if you wanted to like cook up some burgers or whatever, definitely gonna have to throw on some long johns and maybe a nice warm jacket, but it's definitely doable. So with the roof of this build, I was having a really hard time. I couldn't figure out how I wanted it, and I did not like the way that kind of like triangle-y thing was sticking out the side. So I went ahead and just played with the roof, gave it some kind of, I guess you could say, like, I don't know how to exactly describe it, but basically kind of offset the roof a little bit, so it's not a straight gable, it's more of like an offset. I don't know, I liked it. It's different. It's not traditional to normal cabin. That kind of gave it a little bit of a modern twist, and I liked it. I'm playing around with some damn windows that don't even match, but so I actually end up loving the roof at the end, and it comes out exactly how I imagined. My one struggle with this build is figuring out where to put the windows. Window placement was a struggle to the death of me. I couldn't figure it out. Because if you don't know, I love to put the windows up after I do the rooms, but then it doesn't always look so symmetrical. And you know what? At that point, I just gave up, whatever. So I'm definitely pulling in some get-together stuff. I love get-together. I feel like if you really do want to make some rustic things, get-together and, did I say get-together right? Okay, yeah, I did, not get-to-work. Cool. Okay, get-together and, you know, outdoor retreat, they just kind of pull and push each other perfectly. I definitely incorporated a little bit of this, a little bit of that into this build, and they really complement each other quite well. So again, this is a retail location, but that doesn't mean you can't pull this into your game. I do believe the end value of this build is about $80,000 or so, so I feel like maybe roughly renting it for $700 a night is a pretty good steal versus the retail price of about $80,000, like I said. When I went into the interior, I wasn't really worried so much about the placement of the fireplace fireplaces. I knew I wanted them on each end, and definitely just to set the mood, it had to be in the romance room, which is the master bedroom. I ended up moving that fireplace to a more proper location in the end, but going in with the lights and just kind of figuring out how I wanted the place to illuminate, I definitely feel like for picture taking and stuff like that, the brighter the better. But when it comes to how I love to set my mood, I personally like less lights. I don't know. I just don't like brightness. I feel like when you're in like a room and it's just bright as all hell, kind of reminds me of a hospital just a little bit. But anyway, I can't even believe how fast I'm actually decorating the inside of this place. I kept it very simple. I didn't go too crazy. I tried to, like I said, just incorporate a little bit of clutter where you would expect it, or maybe not so much, and then just kind of keep it very simple in other places like the bathroom and stuff. What I love is this big old rug that just kind of comes into the space. Now, it's definitely the entrance to the house, but it really kind of serves as this freaking random room of randomness, I guess. It really has no purpose. It's just you walk in and there's a bunch of weird things that are just chilling there. I definitely wanted to get this Christmas tree in so I could figure out where I was going to place that and how that was going to look. Definitely wanted to put it in front of the windows so that anybody passing by could see it. And it's just a really nice place to set a Christmas tree. I just think in general, in front of a window. It just seems to be where everybody puts their Christmas trees. Where do you put your Christmas tree? In front of a window? Let me know. I definitely set some things aside just so I knew where to pick them up later when it came to like the Christmas themed stuff, because there's no like actual folder for them in your game to find. Like you can't just check them and find them. So I had to put them out in the lawn or wherever else so I could reference to them later. So as you guys saw, I put in that little log shed, which I thought was brilliant. I was actually impressed with myself. I was like, hell yeah, that is so amazing. And that is actually from Get Together, which is really cool because you wouldn't think that, I guess you would, but anyway, you'd feel like that would be something that would come with, outdoor retreat, but it kind of just went together. I don't know. I loved it. So as I was hanging the garland, the snowflake garland, I actually decided to kind of make them as lights for the outside. I really like the multi-iridescent or multicolored lights. I think they're really fun. They play really nicely against the colors of the house or the cabin. And because everything else is stark white, it's just refreshing to see that little bit of color. I definitely wanted to add in those like barren trees with the lights on them, again, just to kind of illuminate the place a little bit, have a little fun, that sort of thing. I feel like every door has a wreath when it comes to Christmas time or just holidays in general, so I had to put that there. I tried to put it other places, but I just had to stick it there. So as you just saw a second ago, I saved. And I always save and I always check what the thumbnails look like, just so later when I go ahead and I upload them, even though the house isn't in the ideal direction, the thumbnail looks pretty good. Ideally, I would love the thumbnail to be in the front of the house, and I wish there was a way that you could change that in the gallery. Just change, like maybe select your thumbnail and what you want the house to look like so it better represents your creation, because sometimes I get some goofy thumbnails. Anyway, in the inside, I definitely have to say the living kitchen quarters are my favorite. It's just that space speaks cozy to me, and I didn't really want everything to be so far apart. I did really want it to be very intimate and close. So if you are having like a family get together or whatever, you don't feel like you're in two separate parts of the room, but you also have space if you want to get away from each other. I totally understand. Trust me, believe me, I do. So for the kitchen, I didn't really exactly figure that all out yet. And then I was like, oh, Jen, you put this beautiful wall here. Why don't you just go ahead and utilize this space? So I did. I ended up just putting everything in this little nook and kind of making it its own little entity by separating it with these super duper tall cabinets and then going ahead and capping it with some overhead cabinets as well. And I feel like it really just completes this area. It makes it look super duper nice. Of course, no kitchen isn't complete without the kitchen sink, and although I don't really have a lot of counter space, you have enough, because honestly, like I said, if you wanted to, you could grow off the porch. I really was kind of just beat myself up. I felt like I needed to separate it even further. It ends up actually working out in the end, but I keep coming back and keep coming back and keep coming back to like figure it out. But I decided to go ahead and let it go, just like Elsa would say. Cold never bothered me anyway. Anyway, so over in this little area, as you see, I had like a garbage can. So I decided just to make that a perfect little area to have a table. And like I said, you can seat 4 people. So I wanted to add in a rug. I'm a big fan of rugs. See, I came back to the damn island. It's like, Jennifer, just let it go, girl, because it ain't gonna work. And I end up letting it go. And once I realized that a sofa is a much more appropriate piece of furniture, and it actually looks pretty damn good once you put it all together. Okay, so I decided to go ahead and add in just a little more detail into my build. I went in with some columns and just kind of capped the corners and the inside. I didn't do this throughout the house because I didn't want to overdo it. But like I said, my main focus is definitely this main living area, and I'm almost blown away. I'm really proud of myself. I love it. It's exactly what I wanted, and I actually feel like this is something I will play with. In my personal game, just because it is everything that I would want it to be. And I love that. I feel like as I'm getting more and more invested in my build and just becoming more familiar with how it works, I'm creating creations that truly represent who I am and my creativity and who I am inside. And I never pictured myself as a builder, but that old saying that your mother probably said to your father or someone who was, trying to teach you a lesson and you ignored them, practice makes perfect. It truly freaking does. It truly does. Building wise, from A to B to point C, huge difference. And I'm finally now creating the creations I can honestly say that I'm proud of. And I used to always say, I'm no Bob the Builder. I'm not. I'm definitely not no Bob the Builder, but I'm getting there. I'm definitely getting there. Let me just go ahead and throw that out there. Definitely, if you're not a builder now, practice. And eventually you'll get the hang of it. I'm still not perfect. Let me just go throw that out there. I have a lot of growth I would like to do. But as you can see, we're kind of wrapping up the main area. And that is what it looks like. It's really nice. It's really beautiful. And it is exactly what Amy had suggested. It is cozy. I really love this grandfather clock. I don't use it a lot in my builds. I almost forget that it's there. And I really did want to bring it in. So I decided, you know what, maybe we need to go back and add some clutter to the walls. And I do end up adding a couple things in a little bit later on, I think. Right now I'm looking for the rack to put your clothes, like your jackets and stuff. And I end up finding it later on, but it's just really hard to find right off the bat. It's just one of those items I always struggle finding, and I've probably passed it a million times, but it's just like my eyes are completely blind to that. So I really wanted this entranceway at first to be super duper traditional, a place where you put your clothes, a place where you put your shoes and things. Honestly, I could have probably downscaled this area and incorporated more space into the bathroom or the kitchen, but honestly, I like the way that it comes out. I don't know, it's very inviting. It's huge. It's a huge entranceway. It's definitely a lot to take in. So I added this little painting, and then I was thinking of maybe possibly adding in a computer desk. But then I just decide, you know what? Honestly, if you're coming out all the way to Granite Falls, or you're purchasing a house that is really just focused around, the outdoors and things of that sort, are you really going to be spending that much time inside on your computer checking your sim book or, dating online? I don't know. But I know that you're not in this place because I went ahead and deleted it. I really wanted the bench, so I put that outside for any of those handy-dandy Sims. Coopercraft, hello, yes. Anyway, he would love this place. But yeah, I went in and just started decorating a little bit more. I think I wanted to add in this little hose. I don't know, I just felt like adding in more stuff to the outside. All right, so I think we finally are ready to tackle the master bath, and I wanted to add in a tub just because I really wanted this area to be focused on relaxation. Even though I do love how fast showers are, it is nice to soak in a bath once in a while. I rarely ever do it in my personal life, but it is nice. So I definitely wanted the master bath to have that option. And let me see, you also have 2 doors on either side, so you can easily access it from, the entryway, or you can go into your bedroom and access it that way as well. So it's just kind of more for convenience purposes. So as you can see, I did move the fireplace, and I feel like where it is now, it is so much more useful. You're going to be able to really enjoy it more, and it's going to be pretty damn romantic when you light that baby and you decide you want to do a little woohoo stuff, on your fancy-dancy rustic bed. The other bed, although that I love it so much, it just has very few color options for me. And unfortunately, I had to switch that out. So I went in and put in these lantern lights because I feel like if people use too many of the same overhead lights, it just really throws me off. Like, I will not download a house or any build that has lights all over the freaking place. Like, that is the first thing and the only thing that I see when I drop down the walls. Hell to the no to the mother. Heck no. It's not going to happen for you. I am not going to download that. I don't know what it is. I hate clutter, and I'm starting to hate it even more. I definitely wanted to incorporate, like I said, a little more get-together into this house and added in a mysterious closet. Kids could definitely have a lot of fun playing in it, and parents can have a lot of fun, you know, trying to search for their socks, you know, the sock monster. Oh, geez, that sounded real X-rated. Anyways, you get what I'm trying to say. This room, I kept it kind of low-key. It could be for boy, girl, whoever, and also there's a couple little toys and, you know, a fun little playful rug that really makes it a fun little place to hang out, I guess. And of course, like I said, there's tons to do around in Granite Falls, so your kids probably really won't be playing too much inside. I definitely needed to add in some terrain details, because if you guys don't know, I'm a sucker for terrain details. I think that I need that dimension on my lot. I just hate when things are just all flat in one color. If you guys are noticing that your build just kind of looks dull, try playing with the terrain paints. You'd be impressed how you could really just spoof up the outside just by doing that. So I end up putting a hot tub back here, and it's just in the back of the house, pretty excluded, or secluded, whatever. And hopefully, you know, you won't have too many people wandering back there. If you want, you could probably squeeze it in between a fence. But again, I really didn't want to, I didn't really want to close off the backyard too much because there's just not that much space. So I decided I wanted to add in some more stuff for the family to do. I put in some darts, and then I obviously added in that llama table so you guys can play like a game of, I forgot what the name of the damn place is, but it's like Jenga. Basically, it's like Jenga, but not. It's like for llamas. I don't know. I forgot what it was called. I don't know. Llama fall and go boom. I know that's like the slogan or whatever. So I ended up checking out the save file eventually, and I think I ended up moving that shack to the other side just so that it looks a little bit better aesthetically when you go and download this from the gallery. I moved the horseshoes to the other side, and of course I had to add in a woohoo blush. Like I said, there's plenty for you to do here. So other than me adding in some shrubs and all that jazz, we're pretty much done with this build. So I hope you guys enjoyed. Don't forget to go ahead and comment, rate, and subscribe, and let me know what you guys think in the comments down below where the sun doesn't shine. And you can download this on the gallery at Gen 2606, and I'll see you all next time. Bye, guys.